In this first video, I'd like to talk about what is peer support, which I think is an interesting and important topic. Before I start, I'll apologise for my lack of links, resources, whiteboards, all of my usual tools I don't have. So this is going to be a very arsey, seat of the pants summary of things that you might, get benefit from Googling, from researching, from finding links, from accessing training and more formal thinking and writing about. But this is just going to be a little discussion. What is mental health peer support? So what is mental health peer support? Well, it's two people, a group of people, coming together to support each other in their recovery, to support each other in getting well. And how do we do that? Fundamentally, by creating a relationship of safety. It's all about trust and safety created between the people or within the group. And safety, as we know as survivors, is really difficult. I mean, the whole aim of the mental health system is supposed to be to keep people safe. It so often ends up re-traumatizing and failing in that fundamental duty of safety. So how do we keep people safe in a peer support relationship? There's a few things we can do. We have boundaries. We try to keep things safe by sharing things and discussing things in a safe way that respects everybody's autonomy, everybody's safety, everybody's equality through respect and boundaries. Another thing we have, particularly as workers, is support. Support outside the relationship, debriefing. If we are hearing traumatic stories, then we need a group or a place of safety where we can share what that is like and the impact that, that's had on us. I've had experiences doing mental health peer support late at night on public transport because there was a need. Someone was in distress and, I was there and I knew them. I got talking to them. So I did some support with them. And at the end of that, I wasn't sure if I'd done the right thing. I rang up my friends who do peer support and had a debriefing because I needed that reassurance that I had done my best, that I had tried to help, that it was a positive thing to do and, just to review what I had done and what I could do. That helps me keep perspective, keep my balance and support my safety. Another thing we need in this relationship is unconditional positive regard. Peer support is not judgment. There's enough shame out there. There's enough blame out there. And we listen. As peer support workers, yes, we share our story. Yes, we create meaning together and talk about ourselves in a way clinicians don't. But that's not the job of peer support. The job of peer support is to listen to the other person. It's not about us. We are sharing our story for a purpose. We're sharing our story to create trust, to demonstrate authentic living. Brene Brown is a great resource to look up for authentic living and overcoming shame. And those things in a peer support relationship are to create trust and safety so that we can then listen. What do we hear when we listen? We hear about people's shame. We hear about people's trauma. Those are the stories that people need to share with us, need to be heard. And it's our job to hear and support. One of the fundamental things about peer support that makes it different from traditional help is that we're not asking what is wrong with you. That's a judgment already, immediately. We don't ask what's wrong. We ask what has happened to you. This comes from intentional peer support. This is one of the key revelations of Sherry Mead's intentional peer support. What has happened to you? It's been co-opted and taken up in other places. And, the more that we can get positive mental health out there, the better. And this comes from survivors. What has happened to you? That's the question we need to ask. And it comes from intentional peer support, IPS. Finally, the thing that we need as peer workers is training. Intentional peer support offers 5 days training. In Australia, there's training from Mind. I came to peer support through an organisation called GROW, which offers their volunteer group facilitators continual training. It's a very old 12-step type approach, and it has some bias, as any approach has bias. Still, it's excellent, and it just highlights the need for training. There's also a formal qualification, the Certificate 4 in Mental Health Peer Work, which is a formal accreditation for employment. And so that is just a basic introduction to what is peer support. I hope you find it interesting. As I say, Google, look up resources, intentional peer support, GROW, Mind Australia, all offer resources on peer support. There's also the Centre of Excellence in Peer Support out there. So Google that. Thank you for listening, and I hope you found this video useful. Reply in the comments. Let's talk about it. The other thing about peer support is it's a discussion. It's not me telling you what peer support is and what it should be. It's about us talking about it and deciding together. Thanks for listening.